Sweden and America took a very different approach to coronavirus. Sweden did not impose a government-enforced lockdown. They did not mandate masks. And depending who you listen to, it was great or it was terrible. The Times of India says Sweden deserves praise for its soft lockdown strategy. The New York Times says the opposite. Sweden has become the world's cautionary tale. The Telegraph says if there's a second wave of COVID, the Swedish approach will have been right all along. Business Insider says the opposite. Sweden, dramatic drop in deaths doesn't mean plan worked. It's like even if the deaths drop to 0, they're like, that doesn't mean anything, don't look there. No. But in all seriousness, who do we believe? Let's get straight to the data and the facts. This is daily new cases in Sweden. They seem to be going down. This is daily new deaths in Sweden. They're definitely going down. But the important thing is Sweden has a way smaller population than the United States of America. So in order to compare it, you need to do so on proper metrics. Here are the proper metrics. So deaths per 1 million population is the best way to do it. You can see right here, Sweden is at 552 above the United States of America, who's at 424. So technically Sweden is doing slightly worse than America, but it's not 2 times, 3 times, 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times like they tried to scare you into believing. It's roughly 1.3 times as bad as America. And that's for now. If America keeps having more deaths and Sweden's goes to virtually 0, that could all change over time, we'll see. But the one thing that the mainstream media, the Democratic Party, and Donald Trump all agreed on was the Sweden strategy of no lockdowns was a horrific strategy that was going to kill millions of people in America if we did it here. But once again, it's about 1.3 times as bad. Almost exactly the same. You should watch my last video to see how the CDC is actually counting to learn even more, but let's stick to this right now. They're trying to tell us that lockdowns are this fantastic strategy, but if you use your common sense, a lot of people are questioning, could lockdowns actually be deadly and horrific as well? Now you might think that's a crazy conspiracy theory because, I don't know, you listen to politicians and the television and whatever expert they prop up there for you. But once again, let's look at the facts. This came from The Guardian a few months ago. More people dying at home during COVID-19 pandemic, UK analysis. And with that data, they found out about 8,000 more people died in their homes since the start of the coronavirus pandemic than in normal times. And at the time of the study, 80% of those who died at their home were completely unrelated to COVID-19, according to the death certificate. So 4 out of 5 of the excess people dying at home in the UK had nothing to do with coronavirus. Could these lockdowns be killing people? I mean, of course, everybody should know that if you didn't just listen to whatever everybody else told you and say everything else is a conspiracy theory. Because it's not, there's data to prove it, but of course lockdowns can be horrific for people. I mean, you're taking away their access to gyms, health facilities. At a certain point, they were canceling elective surgeries, treating people like dogs and animals, taking away their job, their meaning in life, shutting down social gatherings, and pretty much destroying the fabric of society. Of course, that's going to have a negative health impact, but since they didn't tell you that it was, I guess people don't know that. They've done studies before in Liguria, Italy, where elderly people tend to live longer than most. They found out that one of the biggest reasons was their outdoor activity, their community, and their social cohesion. If you take that away from elderly people, of course it's going to kill thousands upon tens of thousands of elderly people. I mean, who in the world before this year would have said that sitting inside, locking elderly people away from each other was a healthy strategy to keep them alive? No one would have thought that. And I'm not saying the virus isn't a threat, but I'm just saying lockdowns are not all rainbows and butterflies. There are negative health consequences. And this idea that Sweden is doing astronomically worse than the United States is just not even remotely true. No mask mandate, no lockdown, 1.3 times as bad per population, and that's right now. If they reach herd immunity before the United States, that could all change and they could eventually be doing better. And on top of that, Sweden's light touch COVID-19 approach spared the economy, says SEB chief. And for those who say, well, it's not about the economy, I mean, have you ever lived in a third world country? Have you ever been somewhere where the economy's not good? Life expectancy is not good. And there are even reports now that say millions upon tens of millions of people can die due to the economic fallout of the pandemic. So this idea that these brainwashed zombies walk around and say, it's about health, it's not about the economy, have probably never lived in a country without a great economy, because with a horrible economy comes a way lower quality of life, obviously. But once again, I guess if you hate Donald Trump so much and just foam at the mouth listening to whatever CNN and MSNBC puts in front of your face, then I guess it all makes sense, right? Lockdown's good, not wearing masks bad, freedom bad, elderly people locked inside good, closing gyms good, closing restaurants and bars good, keeping Amazon and Walmart open good, drooling, don't question anything, it's all a conspiracy theory, despite having evidence, data, facts, and centuries of wisdom to back up what I'm saying. And before we leave, these same dishonest, partisan, completely brainwashed zombies are gonna try to keep kids from going to school for the next couple years, I'm sure. But if you look during the last flu season, about 166 children died. Of course, it's horrific, but this idea that COVID-19 is out there just killing children at these astronomical rates is not even remotely true. And this has happened for any disease, illness, even like the flu, but now they're gonna lie about it, try to close down everything forever, and use fear-mongering tactics to tell you that this one is just astronomically terrible for your kids when the data, the facts, the statistics, and reality prove that it isn't.
Would you let your kids go back to school?
I will. My kids are looking forward to it.
Yes. Period. Absolutely.
Absolutely. As much as I can.
Without a hesitation.
Without a hesitation, yes.
I have no concerns about sending my child to school in the fall.
I would let my kids go back to school.
Dr. John Torres, NBC News.
They all said yes.
But I'm sure they'll find a way to systemically rig this, like have lawsuits going out against schools and places, because of course something's bound to happen when you have 300+ million people in a country. There's going to be tragedies from every illness, disease, and reason, but I'm sure they'll overhype it and legally destroy anybody who tries to actually run their business and keep America afloat from turning into a third world country, which inevitably will lead to more people being negatively affected from the fallout of that than anything that's happened during this pandemic. But let's not talk about that. I guess we should just destroy the fabric of society, ignore data, ignore stats, ignore reality, and just, I don't know, close down for a year, 2 years, 3 years? Yeah, I'm sure at that time when we come out from our houses, there's just going to be butterflies and rainbows everywhere, and the world will be a way better place then, right? Let me know what you think. Me personally, I'd love to be able to breathe air again without people telling me to put cloth on my face. I don't know, maybe I have to move to Sweden to be free. I thought America was the land of the free, but maybe that's Sweden now, which once again, despite what Trump, the media, or the Democrats try to say, is not doing astronomically worse than the United States of America. That's why they're barely talking about it now, or when they do, they have to just put some sort of fear-mongering headline that doesn't quite match up with the data. 1.3 times worse by population, no mask mandate, no hard lockdown, much more freedom, much more personal liberty, much more fun. Oh, cancel fun, fun might spread coronavirus. Let's cancel fun. But yeah, let's see what happens. God bless you, God bless your family. Have a beautiful day, and I'll be back with more videos soon.